Oh, I thought we were doing the mime show. Always a hit.
Yeah.
No, that's
a fan favorite everywhere.
That's a ratings grab if there ever was one. It's just before the Macarena hour.
And then the musical.
Right. But it's Tuesday night. It's about 9 o'clock. It's time for What's on Joe Mind. How's everybody doing? We'll be right back with you. We're going to get to the definitive G.I. Joe character list for 1989 later tonight. But first, you must listen to our kick-ass theme song. We'll be right back.
That's not good.
Yep.
What's not
Your
good?
mic died.
Oh,
Your
we
mic
couldn't hear
died.
you for a second.
But you're back.
All right, good. I was just going to say, pardon me if I sound like I'm waiting for things to happen. I got a lot of windows open on the nights we do these tier lists, so there's a lot of lag, lots of lag. But I'm your host, Mike Irizarry. Welcome to What's on Joe Mind. We are a fan cast about the world of G.I. Joe, and as you can see, we got a full house tonight. It's our first night without the services of Joe Colton, who is off on maternity leave. And so joining us in her stead is we had to go the first week. You got to go with our normal sub, our regular guy. You may know him as Biff McHonky-Dunk, but he is in actuality Phil Donnelly of Articulated Points. Big hat.
Hey there.
Hey.
And the
Tell me
king
about
of,
this Joe person, but I've never seen her.
the king
Right.
of the Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
Welcome aboard. If you're joining us from the Hooded Cobra Commander 788 show, which was on previously, we appreciate his graciousness in plugging us before he comes. He goes on his show every night. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, next week at 8 o'clock Eastern time, go over to the Hooded Cobra Commander 788 channel and watch his live stream before ours. It's a solid 3-hour block of G.I. Joe chatter. Can't beat it.
Blather.
GIT.
But here in the top row, he is the former head of marketing for the G.I. Joe brand. It's the Hot Show, Mark Weber.
I gotta say, for all you parents out there, I've learned the trick to making your kids put their dishes in the dishwasher is to start your podcast, and then that's exactly the time to smash some dishes around. So,
Oh yeah,
appreciate that. Oh, I'm getting the side eye from Little Miss Weber, right? Oh,
Pink eye, the evil eye.
I probably deserved it. It's fine.
tell her to bring it.
Yeah, exactly. She's gonna throw the dog at me, which is exactly what I don't need.
Our click pens are in, so we can counter that noise.
Look at this. We're well armed now. Yeah, I don't think this is a good idea, Biz, but it's a dog attack. Yeah. I suppose that's fair. I had that coming.
You did.
That's as close as the dog wants to get to me anyway. So,
Right?
all right.
I mean, the dog isn't barking at you, so that's a positive.
Yeah, because I'm not a mailman, not a Amazon guy, not a FedEx guy, and not the very nice religious couple with their pamphlet who came by and got the hell scared out of them the other day.
Well, I don't know about the hell scared out of them, but
Well,
Wow.
cheaper than exorcism.
Anyway, I'm going to provide some sound effects for tonight. That's
right,
what I'm doing.
right? Ambiance.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
in, the
old
bottom
time
row,
radio.
in the bottom row, he is a man without a show. But hey, we'll keep letting him hang around anyway. It's Racktime Rob.
Hello, I'm on vacation.
Right, it's spring break in Rob's world. So his that shiftless layabout joke is on point this week.
Oh, look
Wow,
at that.
premier service.
Oh, she loves me.
Be sure to tip your waitress.
Hello.
Thank you, Biz. Hey, Rob, on a scale of 1 to 8 billion, how bad did you need spring break?
9 billion.
Okay, fair enough. Figured.
So, Mark, I know you're the one that's going to have strong opinions on this.
Yeah.
The one match that Racktime Rob was interested in went very well, so he's cool with it. Your brief thoughts on WrestleMania 39 this past weekend?
My favorite Shane McMahon match of all time.
I'm no fan of Shane O'Mac, right? But you got to feel bad for the guy doing that.
I don't.
Not at all, really. Although the word is he's actually a pretty cool guy that people get along with him, but
For the most part, yeah.
yeah, and he's tough as hell, obviously. But the idea that he can just dance down to the ring and take incredible risks because he gets the next 10 months off paid before his next opportunity to make the rank and file wrestlers look weak by comparison to the owner's son. Never been a fan of that shtick. Can't believe that fans ever got behind that. But yeah, when he went down to the dreaded leapfrog.
Once upon a time, when he earned that respect, he was a full timer.
Yeah, he was not doing house shows, and there's no way.
But
nah.
But yeah, the popped quad, man, that's a tough one. That's a big injury.
Gonna be a while. He should probably take the next 9-10 months off,
Yeah.
like usual.
Let's hope it's 9-10 years. So
yeah, exactly right. He's 53. Come on,
right. Go home, Grandpa. Go home.
You're good. You have kids. They're almost grown. You spend some time with them.
I felt bad because when he came on the screen when that match started, I said to the TV, "Go home, Grandpa. No one wants to see you." And then he instantly hit the ground. I was like, "Oh no! I've done it again!"
Whenever they play his music, I'm like, "Oh, not this guy!" So I was happy about that. Overall, I thought it was a really good 2 nights. I enjoyed it, but I thought nothing came close to Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I just thought that was a fantastic match. So that was my favorite match of the weekend.
I thought it was a great match, but the terrible build puts it just a half a step below that Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Yes, that was the best.
I'm not a huge fan of triple threats. I think they're rarely better than one-on-one matches, but yeah, that worked.
Yeah, that was because they didn't bog it down with stupid high spots.
Yeah,
they just like their solution to, hey, there's an extra guy in the match was to hit more things.
Right.
So that I can't argue with that. There's nothing wrong with that from the rare situation where the predecessor to that match, which was the awesome Gunther versus Sheamus from Clash of the Castle last year, that set the bar very high for that match, and they actually got over it.
Yeah.
That was my match of the weekend.
And while the trend in pro wrestling is for more high spots and high flying and flips and dangerous stuff, if you watch the competition this weekend, but it shows there's still a place for 2 guys just beating the hell out of each other. 3 guys, actually.
I love that stuff, but I love it in the realm of the match. Like when you have to stop the match for 15 seconds to set up your really cool looking move.
Yeah.
It takes me out of it every time. And I think that's part of where the competition fails. Because it's the rare set of guys that can do that. Like Death Triangle wants to come out and do the craziest shit you've ever seen. I'm in because those guys are incredible. They're the best at what they do. But that they're like the only ones, right?
Dante Martin would disagree, but
right.
but beyond. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But all in all, I had a good time, enjoyed it. Yeah,
well,
absolutely. Pretty much everybody's agreeing with that.
Yeah, the Figure 6-pack has the thoughts of a nation on his screen there. Night 1 was better than night 2.
Well, and Jeff Butler's got the most G.I. Joe tied.
Right. The one from here. I saw that and instantly went to shop or WWEshop.com and linked it up to our Twitter.
Yeah. And our pal Travis Moody of A Toy Kind of Mood has it, bought the shirt. I think it was at night 1. And he put up a pretty good shot of the file card on the back.
Yeah.
And the file card is fabulous.
Yeah. They They did their work on that one.
Yeah, it's Cena. It's smart to wrestling, but it's also smart to Joe. And when it said he attended special training school for invisibility and something else, all right, well played. Well
done. Well done. But we don't have Joe Colton on board to overreact to WrestleMania, so that saves us some time because we got a lot going on tonight.
Oh yeah,
a lot going on. We got news, we got community calendar, and we got the definitive character tier list for 1989. So without any further ado, what do you say we get into community calendar?
Woo!
I do.
Community calendar.
4 or 5, it's jam!
She knows.
Get back on that. I'm so much fun. Your host, Mike, here is
Those mushrooms are kicking in.
I'm a big fan of that bouncing Cena.
That wasn't as psychedelic as some of the others.
That might be my new favorite in the clubhouse, thanks to that little chicken nugget on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like I want to get a still of that and using it for promos. Because it plays it straight outside of that bottom corner where we've normally got Joe Colton. Is a little puppet chicken nugget. I mean, just beautiful.
I wonder how she's feeling that she got replaced by a chicken nugget. She's only been gone like 3 minutes.
It was only a matter of time.
Now, in fairness, she's been here for going on 7 years now, and the reason I love that screen is because it's something that I would have done. So I'm sure she's used to things in that mode by now. Anyways, coming up this Saturday. Get on the screen already. Good Lord. There we go. Oh, so much lag. But Toy du Jour presents the G.I. Joe Creator signing event in their fine store full of vintage toys and other such knickknacks. Our friends from After Action Report are there selling volume 2 of the After Action Report, Josh Eggebein and Roger Taft. In addition, Josh Blaylock, Tim Seeley, and Sam Wells from Devil's Duel will be on hand. That is, again, at Toy du Jour at 2532 West Fullerton in Chicago. At Sam's wonderful store, Toy du Jour. Copies of the book will be available for purchase, as you can see there in the graphic. Very reasonable if you're in the neighborhood. It's what, 25 cover price? Phil, come on, you got your bookcase right behind you. Where is it?
Oh,
Not yet.
Phil, you're out.
oh man, tough crowd.
Anyways, we got let me get Phil back in here because that's going to take probably half an hour. If you're anywhere around Chicago this weekend, go on up the day before Easter. Say hey to Roger and Josh, and if you mention what's on Joe Mind, they will give you the illustrious 0% discount.
Right.
They are more likely to return your hugs than Dave Draper. So
That's true.
So
I'm pretty sure this is at 1060 West Addison Street, though.
No, that's
Pretty sure.
That's where my Uncle Buck lives.
Pretty sure 1060 West Addison.
It's
Big
on
park.
Lower Wacker Drive.
Big parking lot.
All right, there's no statue of Richard Pryor, but
Was there perhaps a dapper fellow in a black suit who gave you that address?
Perhaps.
there is that Picasso. Anyways,
It's just across from the Honorable Richard M. Daley Plaza.
Anyways, next week on Saturday we got the Super Toy event in Canfield, Ohio, at the fairgrounds. They are on Facebook. Visit Super Toy Events there for more. It is 10 to 4, $5 admission. Parking is free, from what I understand. It's been a week. Been a week.
It's sponsored by 93.3 The Wolf.
We'll go with that.
And High Five Ghost. I do like that He-Man is shown actual size. And that apparently Snake Eyes has been working out because looks like he's going to have to cream the Hulk.
Well,
that's why you don't make Snake Eyes mad.
I guess.
Go all Mega Ninja on you.
Right? The lead up to that fight hasn't been any good, though, right? The trash talk has been almost non-existent.
A couple of grunts and some hand signals that we can't
Right.
publish.
Right.
That'd be awesome if just walked in and just flipped the birds. Like, this is how I communicate.
Double deuces.
Dun, 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 dun.
The glass crash, and yeah, there you go.
Right. Meanwhile, the Ninja Turtle looks like a piece of the Hulk that fell off.
So if we're done criticizing the artwork, we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, okay, I'm done.
Good. All right. Want to make sure we get it all out.
Oh, wait. I almost lost him in Optimus. One of the Spider-Men is up there.
I don't want to go back and then have to come back to it. So let's just get it all out of the system now.
Which Spider-Man is that, Mike? I have a hard time keeping it.
I'm not going to acknowledge this. You haven't even watched the movie, so I'm not going to indulge you on that.
Which one? I've seen a lot of Spider-Man movies.
It's the one with the suit. Clearly.
Oh, okay.
The one with the suit.
Okay.
Spider clone.
Nope. Nobody who's a Cyclops fan gets to criticize out across the Spider-Verse. Nobody. Not one.
The new one has more Spider-Man, I hear. A whole lot more.
I think it's got different Spider-Men.
They're not. Well, I should hope so. If they were all the same, it'd be boring.
There's a spider horse.
Oh, I hope so. To go with the
It's in the trailer.
To go with the Spider Pig.
It's the Legion of Spider Pets.
I think Spider Pig from The Simpsons has to be in this movie at this point, doesn't he? Is that mandatory at this point?
I would assume.
Wrong studio, though.
It's probably a licensing thing, right?
So what if Firefly is wondering is am I drinking a Dusty Rhodes flavored drink? And God, I would hope such a thing would never exist.
I hope
no,
not.
This is Dr. Pepper Zero with cream soda.
Oh, there you go.
That's what I've got going on.
Which is what would come out of that weird pink growth on Dusty's stomach if he squeezed it correctly.
That's that's pure mellow yellow, baby.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's pure mellow yellow.
Same thing that comes out of Cody's horns when he squeezes them. Yeah.
Come on now.
Just threw up a little bit in my mouth. It's fine.
I'm just saying. Once you see it, you'll never unsee it.
Poor guy got himself wrecked by Brock Lesnar last night. You give him a break.
I think that's what Brock was trying to do.
Right. He was trying to give him several breaks. Anyways, Firefly has no regrets suggesting that now.
There we go.
Nor should you, sir. Well done. Next up is the Greater Adirondack Toy and Comic Show. We've had this one built for a while. We've had this one built for a while. Shut up, Phil. Because it's the first appearance of Lisa Raggio, the voice of Zorana. It's her first appearance on the Toy and Comics Show circuit. So be sure to get out and be nice to her, for God's sake. Don't scare her off. It's rare that somebody stayed in hiding this long.
Right.
They don't all get what's on Joe Mind to lure them out of hiding. They don't all get that opportunity. So be nice. Mm-hmm. But you can get more details at the Greater Adirondack Toy and Comic Show.com. And yeah, that's a mouthful. But there it is down at the bottom of the page. $5 admission. I don't know if dealer tables are still available or not. It's an old graphic at this point. Whatever.
I'd like to thank Diana Davis for the batting practice fastball down there.
Right. We're going to go ahead and throw this up.
Swear jar.
Especially
hey, Phil. If you were coming home from WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium, what way would you go?
Well, I would probably take the 110 to the 710 to the 91.
The 91?
91 would be jammed.
It's going to be jammed.
Actually, it's the 105 to the 605, but who's counting?
I'm actually wondering who's clicking their pen because it's not me.
Oh, and you've got all the pens.
I put them all back in the box. Mm. So it must be Rob because he's doing something deliberately annoying.
Yeah, there you go.
He is invincible.
Did you give him a pen?
I mean, there's a big open box of them. You can just take a pen.
That's on you, man. Pen maintenance.
I mean, I can also just mute him.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, right there. Hey, go ahead. Knock yourself out, Rob.
There we go. Get it all out, Rob.
He's in the echo chamber. The 5 was, in fact, jam.
I bet.
Man, the 5's always jam. That's nothing big. That's nothing new.
I don't think WrestleMania had a whole lot to do with it.
You had
That's
to
why I
take
think-
Rodeo all the way up to Marina Del Rey.
Right. Don't even try Alhambra
Oh, no.
or Fountain.
Also on April 30th, it's Toy Palooza.
I wasn't done.
New location at the AHN Sports Complex in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Admission is $5. $10 for VIP gets you in an hour early on 11 to 4 on 30th of April. Visit Toy Palooza on Facebook for more details or purchase tickets online at toypalooza.com.
Apparently, it's located in Pennsylvania.
Who was it last week that said that there needs to be a Toy Malooza in Massachusetts? I think it was Jeff Butler.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You just get a bunch of assholes.
Ugh.
I mean,
It's
it's
a
your
real thing,
neighborhood.
man. It's a real thing.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, so anyways, if you're in Matt Rubin's neck of the woods, be sure to check out Toy Palooza out there in Pittsburgh. They seem to have a show every 5 weeks in the Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania area.
It's a hotbed.
So clearly they're doing something right.
You can
It's
go to
either that or
Primanti.
zombies. So
Go to Primanti Brothers. Get yourself a sandwich served on wax paper. Yeah, it's true.
Stuffed with coleslaw and French fries.
Yeah,
That's right.
You know, Primanti Brothers, like I like them, but I have to say that they're one of the few places that will give me heartburn.
Yeah, they looked at me funny when I said, "Could I get it without coleslaw?" And they're like, "Heathen," and whatever. It's like when I ordered the bacon double cheeseburger in Green Bay and asked them to hold the butter.
Well, that's on
They were
you.
like,
did they chase you out of town?
they thought I was weird. I'm like, it's a bacon double cheeseburger. I don't think I need the square of butter on top of it. Turns out everyone else in my group got the butter on their burger.
Yeah,
So,
and it helps it all kind of slide down and slide out.
right.
So that way it doesn't clog up the arteries.
I'm not going to argue with Pennsylvania native Matt Rubin, but when I ate there the one time I was visiting Pittsburgh, when they dropped it over my head on wax paper and it just went in front of me, the presentation needed a little work. Just saying.
I can't say I've been to one in Pittsburgh. I'd only been to. They used to have one in Dayton, Ohio, and I've been to that one. But one of the many times we got out to hang with the Roma folks and noted author James Kavanaugh.
There you go.
But Nick Adams with an anecdote. I used to wrestle around with my brothers. First time I hurt my back was when I tried to hit them with a chair. Probably shouldn't have tried to use the recliner. And that's sage wisdom
Yes.
Makes
from
sense.
the voice of experience.
Honestly, how did you miss Superhead though? I mean,
I mean, he didn't say he missed. He just said,
yeah, I guess that's true.
Figure Six Pack says, you think that's weird? Try adding butter to your coffee. And I'll vouch for that. Actually, it's not bad. I'm not
Not good either.
I'm not a coffee drinker, but it adds kind of takes the edge off.
Nothing better than a greasy film on your coffee.
That is the downside of it. You can't add too much, otherwise it gets kind of gross kind of quick. But a
If I
little
wanted that kind of stuff, I'd go to Jersey.
touch,
I thought the downside of it was that it's still coffee.
right? I mean, that kind of is. Yeah, we're not a coffee crowd on this show, are we?
New.
It's Joe Colton, and even then, she's more of a Starbucks fan, so she likes coffee. Froofy drinks that kind of have
Yeah.
coffee pass through them, but not actual coffee.
One of my dad's best lines was, "There's two kinds of coffee, black and ruined." So he was always disappointed that I wasn't. I don't know if he was disappointed because it meant more coffee for him, but
Right.
black and ruined.
Absorbvid says, I live on coffee. And clearly it's not sleep because we've seen some of your work.
Yeah,
But thank you for those. We appreciate them.
Absolutely.
There's a couple more that are in the hopper waiting to come on. I got to figure out which of the old ones I want to take off first.
They're fueled by more than caffeine, I think.
The fever dreams of a madman.
God bless him. He understands the show. He understands us. Then coming up on May 7th, it's another edition of the Toy Man Show out in Bridgeton, Missouri. Out in the Machinist Hall, 2 stories full of toy dealers with stuff going back to the 20s and 30s all the way up to today. You can visit them at toymanshow.com or on Facebook. There's usually guests and an artist's alley and all kinds of cool stuff going on at Toyman. Remember, if you see Dave Draper, be sure to hug him with our regards. Tell them What's on Joe Mind sent you, and they will probably look at you funny. Yeah.
Another installment of the Dave Draper Hug Drive.
Hey, naughty boys need love too.
I don't know about naughty. Certainly grumpy.
Yeah, grumpy.
Grumpier.
Curmudgeonly.
That took a turn, man.
Weird that he gets grumpier with every hug.
Strange.
So odd.
When strangers just go up and attach themselves to him. And there too, admission $5. Early birds $15 gets you in an hour early at 8 o'clock. Parking is abundant and free.
If you can get 4 people to hug him at once and claim they're trying to form Voltron, you will win a prize. But we need a photo. We'll need a
Prize
photo.
not good.
Oh, I'm just picturing the look on his face.
Right? Couple of
Oh, my
adults
God.
sitting on his feet. So
Sean
good.
Russell, a close personal friend of Dave Draper, says, I'd use the word cantankerous, and I'd say that's accurate.
Yeah.
It's accurate. I love
We
Dave.
love-
Make no mistake. He is a fine human being. One of my true favorites in this hobby. But we have to, he gets the business every so often. He's got to get the business.
There's no cant in cantankerous. Wait. Moving on.
No, there isn't because the apostrophe's out.
Oh, there you go.
Also coming up on May 7th, it's the SoCal Joe Show. Out in Temecula. That's another $5 show with early bird for $10. This show always has some kind of exclusive classified figure. This year they are teasing something to do with the October Guard. So be sure to check them out on Facebook and stay on top of those details.
So Joe will be out there.
How would you get to Temecula, Joe? Phil?
I would take the 91 of the 15, Mike.
I don't know. 15 will be jammed.
Yeah, it always is. Especially if you're trying to get back home, back onto the 91. It's always jammed.
Man,
Jam.
I don't know who planned California, but needs work.
It's probably
I'm told that our freeway system was only like 60% developed. But the plan was a lot more, and neighborhoods started fighting back. So
there you go.
stupid neighborhoods.
Right.
Look,
Well,
just
it's mostly
because they don't
poor
want-
people
just
who are
because they
losing
don't
their
want
houses,
an expressway in their front yard.
Right. God forbid people live somewhere.
Watch out for poor people. They've got swords.
I don't know. I'm quite poor and have no swords. So
You're truly poor.
yeah.
That line is about 2 minutes before Will Ferrell kills the weatherman.
Anyways, if you're a cosplayer, head on out to the show because it'll be free, along with children under 10.
Free
SoCal
like
Joe.
the parking.
What's that now?
Free like the parking.
I don't know. I would assume so, as it's in an embassy suites. I don't know of any embassy suites that charge you for parking.
they haven't charged us yet. So
All right.
Don't
is
give
a-
them any ideas, though.
This is a Phil show, so Phil would be the expert.
I have been a few times. Yes,
You gonna be at this one?
I'm planning on it. Yeah.
All right. You gonna take pictures and
I usually take like one or two, but it's just like a bunch of people in a room. So
We could probably fake that.
Yeah.
right. Just get a bunch of folks stand around, look like they're looking at a road map, and then superimpose the folks that we know are in California on their faces, and we could stage that like the moon
Oh
landing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't encourage people.
We'll just Photoshop in an angry Joe Colton who missed out on the October Guard exclusive after flying coast to coast pregnant.
Right.
Oh, distinct possibility, but
I somehow don't see that happening. But
I don't think she's going to make this one.
that's it for Community Calendar. Community Calendar.
The 405 is jammed. She knows. It's WrestleMania. I'm so much fun. I'm your host, Mike Uriday.
I particularly like you doing an Alvin and the Chipmunks impression. That's pretty good.
But remember, if you have a show that you'd like us to plug on Community Calendar, and I how could you not? Be sure to send it to the email you see there on the screen. What's on Joe Mind at gmail.com. Don't send it to our other social media because I can't promise you I'm going to catch it and remember to get it on the program. Always send to the email if it's something you want to get on the program. Always send to the email. Sending things to Mike's personal Facebook page is a sure way for me to forget it. I promise you that. That is a guaranteed way for me to lose track of it. And because, yeah.
Because you never look at your brother's Facebook.
Well, I mean, Rob doesn't have any social media. So
I'm anti-social.
He is absolutely a shiftless layabout in regards to show prep. But my friends don't text; they always use Messenger. So if you send me something in Messenger, it's going to get buried in a hurry. And I don't have the kind of free time to go sifting through everything. To
wait a minute, I text you.
Yeah, you're like the only one though.
Oh, I just thought I fell outside of that friends range.
No, you're just the weirdo.
Yeah, I don't trust Messenger.
Which, you know, Tuesday evenings are proof of that. You're just the weirdo.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I mean, my feeling on it all is if Facebook really wants to know what I'm talking about that bad, frankly, it's their wasted time. So
I like that bit after 9/11 when they're like, I think they're listening to our phone conversations. I'm like, God, I hope so.
Right.
They're going to be bored as hell, but come on in.
Right. Like Facebook listening in on my conversations or looking at my IMs is kind of like my revenge for Facebook.
So you turn on the farm report on the radio and just let it play for a few hours while you leave the room.
Right. Good live chat's still going on about different types of butter. So I'm glad we set them off down that path.
A greasy, dairy-rich path.
That's a good time. God love him. As time goes on, I think I understand our fans less and less. But whatever. Thanks for showing up. We appreciate you. Watching us on Facebook tonight. Be sure to give us a thumbs up or a heart or a little huggy guy. Kind of helps the algorithms go over there. We love little huggy guy. If you're catching us on YouTube, thank you so much. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share us in all your settings and all of your social media circles and your subreddits and your thises and your that's and stuff that I don't understand.
Look, I would so much rather have the chat talking about butter than, you know, the normal nonsense that's going on in most chats on most other shows. So.
Right.
Or Hasbro live streams.
Yeah.
If we're watching Mark's show on Sunday nights, we're probably getting the Russian chatbots.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Not the only
or the Deutschland
show,
Uber Alles bots.
not the only show to be fueled nearly exclusively by bots, though.
And what's the name of that show again, Mark?
I can't remember. Oh, my show?
Your show.
I thought you meant that other show. Can I say the name of the other show?
No,
it's right on the tip of my tongue, which ain't easy if you think about it. But
I'm giving you the opportunity to plug away, Mark.
Plug your damn show.
Yeah, but hate's better than love. Hate lasts forever. Check out the Eternal Baseball Podcast Sunday nights on YouTube at 9:00 Eastern. The very best baseball ever, unless it's the game Rob and I did, which was hella boring.
It was kind of a dull game.
It was a dull game. That's right. But it was a good show. So
yeah.
What do you say we do the news?
Oh, yeah.
That actually played. I hit the button and it
It did play.
It played, but then you were muted for a second when you came back.
Okay, yeah, because everything stopped and then it finally played and was like, I don't know when that actually happened.
So just so the fans know, if the whole thing goes off the air, we're probably not coming back. Just saying.
His problem.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
I have my phone nearby. I'll be sure to take a picture of my laptop as it sits in smoldering flame. But, yeah, remember to hit up that coffee link down below, because Lord knows it might be time to just upgrade some equipment.
Woo.
Right? There's only two
You got
kinds
your
of
bucket
coffee.
of water nearby.
Only two kinds of coffee: black and the link that gives us money.
So we're getting a lot of black coffee then, huh?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right, we're kind of dry on both. First news item.
Do.
Hey, we talked about him a minute ago, but After Action Report does have a new project on Kickstarter. We talked to Roger and Greg Augustin a couple weeks ago, and the After Action Report command files are funding on Kickstarter through April 15th. This is Volume 1. These are character profiles of all of your favorite Joes and Cobras across, the Volume 1 of Joes, across various media. It's just an attempt to kind of draw it all back into one source material. An ambitious project, to be certain. But they are funding on this for another week and a half or so. We will probably talk to at least Roger again before this is done. So head on over to Kickstarter, search After Action Report, and this will be the project that comes up for you, and get that done today. They are about 80% of the way home. We're kind of in that. We're kind of in the slow middle part of the campaign, so it hasn't changed much since last week, but it'll get there. So pledge on this one with confidence, because it should make it fairly handily. If our knowledge of Kickstarter campaigns holds any water, this one should get there pretty handily.
$20,579 as of this moment,
And that's on a $25,000 goal, so it's right about the same place it was last week. But yeah, so keep spreading the word. This is not an expensive book by any means, so just the more copies they move, the more likely they are to make the campaign goal and get this done.
And start thinking about Volume 2.
Right. After Action Report Command Files, Volume 1. Next news item.
Boo, boo, boo.
All right, a little showmanship there.
There you go. Hey, I'm not the understudy for nothing.
Also on Kickstarter, it's Creating G.I. Joe Volume 11. Funding now through April 18th at 3 a.m. So call it the 17th, sure. Tax weekend, right?
Yep.
Phil, you gonna pay them this year? Or?
I already submitted this weekend, so they're giving me money back.
All
Nice.
right.
No more prison time for Phil.
That's right. Catch me if you can, IRS.
Fool you once, shame on me. Fool you twice, shame on you. Fool you 3 times, and you're Phil in federal taxes.
That's it.
I got that same guy Capone used.
Right.
Yeah, eventually he's going to turn and squeal.
Says, I like the Philip guy. Finally, someone with some Joe stuff in the background. Yeah, I'd hate to have my entire value to my own show dedicated by what I've got in my background.
I got something. Look.
I'm surrounded by Joe crap. It's just not
Right.
behind. There's a
Mark's
wall.
got a Super Joe shirt in the background.
That's right.
It's an external wall. It bears weight. I got
He's got
clicky
sticky pens.
pens.
Those are load-bearing pens.
I got a human hair on my microphone.
We hope it's human.
You hope it's yours.
Right. It
I believe-
seemed to be mine. It was the correct length and color to be mine.
Okay, good.
It's,
I believe it was a Klingensmith birthday this weekend too. So
I
happy
think so.
birthday.
I don't know. I can't keep track of that stuff
I
anymore.
think it was.
Our other brother Jim, his birthday was on April 1st. So happy birthday to Jim.
Ooh, was that rough growing up for him?
No,
Not really.
no.
All right.
April
I never liked April Fool's jokes.
We are not practical joke people. Like we're a funny and family wide. We're funny people. We make jokes. We crack wise. We are not practical joke people.
Okay.
Not in our repertoire. We are too direct in our tomfoolery for that sort of thing. Those are load-bearing pens. Could be a T-shirt. I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be a T-shirt. Now that it seems to have some legs.
You're welcome.
But I have to say, if I had the opportunity to have something in my background, I would.
Yeah.
There's just only so many. It's a
And
small. There's only so many places we can podcast from.
Not to hassle Phil, because Phil's my boy, but if you're judging the quality of your podcast host by how many toys he has set up behind him, you're doing it wrong, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's like the I'm going to do a podcast starter kit. First, set up every toy you have behind you, and then maybe they won't notice that you don't know what you're talking about.
I think that's
not talking about you, Phil. I'm talking about other people.
But that's not every toy.
I know. I'm not talking about you. I'm not going to rip you to your face while you're here. I would never do that.
You'll rip him to his face, just not on camera.
We'll do that next week when he's not
I
here.
do that when I'm in the chat. That's when they do it.
Phil and I have never disagreed. Not ever. I don't think so.
Well, I don't like pineapple on pizza, so.
Oh well. Okay.
There we go.
You don't like pineapple on pizza?
I do not.
Well, good. It's an abomination. It's a crime against the laws of God and man.
Ooh.
Weber, do you have a retort?
And I know I'm in the minority, but yeah, I'll take a little ham and pineapple. I'm okay with it. I'll allow it.
I blame the Canadians myself.
Yeah.
I love ham on pizza, but pineapple can go right to hell.
I'm all alone.
Right to hell.
That's fine. Phil doesn't like the chest cut. Nobody likes the chest cut. They've just gotten flea trained into it.
Right. It's either we're gonna get pretty good looking Joe toys that have the chest cut, or we're not gonna get them at all. So
that's it. You don't like the chest cut. You're just willing to accept it because it gave you toys back.
Right.
And I say we can do better. Demand better.
Agreed. They just can't do better on the licensed ones, so they don't want to do something better for GI Joe and make those other properties jealous.
They want to give it the best articulation possible, and then spend more money on secondary items to cover it up as best they can.
Right.
And when I say they, I mean pretty much every toy company out there.
There's a discussion here to be had, but I don't want to do it tonight. We got to get to it.
Is it about the brutal pineapple cut? Wait.
Apparently, there actually is one going on.
What have we done?
Well, we've moved off of butter, and now we're
Right.
into pineapple on pizza.
Do you like butter on your pineapple?
Nick Adams says it's delicious, but he's deathly allergic to it. But that's what EpiPens are for. All right.
Nick likes to live dangerously.
Right on the edge.
That he does.
I can just see Superhead chasing him around with a pineapple when they were kids. You take it back! You take it back!
That's why I had to pick up the chair.
Trying to hit him with a recliner.
I think Torpedo 83 has the most salient point here.
I'm trying. It's coming.
Fair enough. There's
There we
nothing
go.
Hawaiian about Hawaiian pizza.
Nothing Hawaiian about it. No.
All right, fair enough.
Like
talk
it was invented in Canada.
Don't talk about pineapple to the Hawaiians. It's a sore topic. Sore topic. Don't do it. Next news item.
Boop, boop, boo!
And we talked to Darren last week. Legends of the Hidden Force is still live on Kickstarter. You can pledge now through April 25th. $50,000 goal here. They're about halfway home. I got to go look.
Whatever gets me that purple gradient ninja.
That wave
He's-
4 is calling to me.
Oh, it's that wave 1 purple gradient ninja. I'm all over that.
Just over $28,000 with 20 days to go. So still plenty of time there. Off to a good start. And a nice low funding goal. So again, continue to spread the word, spread our video around from last week. Let's get folks talking about Legends of the Hidden Force and get this fine project off the ground. There we go.
Yeah.
Your Legend Hidden Force. And Doug Dello apologizes to Phil. Didn't want to put words in your mouth. I was just stirring the pot. Well, keep everything out of Phil's mouth, man. Come on.
You don't know where it's been.
He can't be
Right.
trusted. He's just a baby.
Pretty sure it's been in the AT-AT popcorn line at Disneyland. Just saying.
He had that popcorn bucket.
It's over there.
Right. It's sitting on the proton pack.
Actually, no, it is not. But there's an extra one sitting on it.
There you go. I'm close.
Here it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, my toy ESP is rusty but functional.
Phil is a man of little focus. He's got to keep all his toys behind him, you see, because there's nowhere else to store them.
Just outside of the frame here.
Right.
I
I got to get more of mine A-frame so I can prove that I'm a real host.
mean, you did used to head the brand at Hasbro, right?
Yeah, in what we like to call the golden year.
Right. You did,
2.5,
Fake Joe
2.5,
fan.
2.5.
you did spend some time working Transformers too, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. I think this is
People don't remember that, though. I don't get a lot of credit for those times because I was buried in money.
You like Transformers? Yeah, name 3 of their albums.
Right. I like their early stuff. But
3 of their B-sides.
I was busy helping to run a successful local club and convention, so I got nothing. I don't know anything about any of this stuff. You know, measuring us by how much we've got in our window behind us, which is the stuff you're not supposed to be looking at anyway. That's how we wind up with crummy shows like we do. That's why we have shows that nobody's ever heard of that have 5,000 and 6,000 followers that people go and they watch and they sit and they'll watch it for an hour and they'll have no idea what happened at the end of it. And we're making T-shirts about almond milk and we've been doing it for 12 years. Who knew? Yeah. Substance, people, substance.
I tried to see how long I could go without blinking.
Not very long.
No.
Sorry, I just caught that. I was just
It bounced around a little bit. Sometimes it'll get you on that.
it rattled around a little bit. Then,
Yeah.
oh,
It's like Pong.
Tank Pong?
next
Sure.
news item.
Dude.
Hey, Mezco put up its pre-order for its 1/12 Storm Shadow, and boy, howdy, it's a humdinger.
He's kind of loaded.
He is. This doesn't even show the weapons. It's got nunchaku throwing stars with throwing star effects, bows and arrows with the quiver. It's got swords. It's got sai. It's got hand size. It's got all kinds of stuff. $95 will get you the everything, including a $23.75 non-refundable deposit. But look at that, 7 sets of hands,
Yeah.
2 heads.
Preppy popped collar.
Small price to pay, man.
He looks
think-
good.
Careful, Storm Shadow's getting a little handsy.
Oh,
That he is. He's
His
got a
busy
battle
hands.
stand. He's got a little support thing where you can make it look like he's jumping. I mean, this is good stuff. I don't know if I don't have $95 for it, but if you like high end stuff, this seems like pretty good value for your high end stuff.
Yeah.
You can pre-order this at mezcotoys.com, and that is available now. Expected shipping in the 4th quarter of this year. So you're not even going to wait forever on it. Supposedly,
We'll see if it got there. If it
Right.
comes
You
out.
can you can put it right next to your snake eyes. Yeah.
knock on wood.
But he looks great. Like Yeah. Shame to cover up that Cobra logo, but
Yeah, I mean, it's Storm Shadow. It's kind of optional anyway, right?
I suppose that's true.
It's not really that important for him because it doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah. You feeling evil today or not?
Ah.
Somebody really annoy you by putting a Billy head on there.
Ooh.
That gets him back out again.
Billy's just a rip off anyway.
I said it would annoy you. Not that it was a good.
It's Matt Rubin with the realistic stance. This is Mezco. It's going to be a while.
Yeah.
Firefly notes that Storm Shadow looks ready to be sassy at the mall with that pop collar.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
It's not just a popped collar; it's a popped hoodie. He's just showing off.
He is a mall ninja. That is
Right.
I like my mall ninja sassy.
There we go.
Hey.
No,
I'll tell you,
I'm Ball Ninja Snake Eyes.
There you go.
Missed opportunity for an 80s film, Mall Ninja.
Right. We have two distinct portions of the news this week. We have Kickstarter portion and we have pre-order portion. And so this is the bridge into pre-order portion. That's a next news item.
Do.
Hey, look, on April Fool's Day, Super 7 punched out this pre-order for the Cobra Escape Pack, which Racktime Rob called on the fly.
Big win right here. More credit.
Needs more toys behind him before I believe him, though.
That's true.
But anyways, it's got Cobra Commander as the old lady. It's got Baroness as the nurse. It's got Destro as the city worker. And it's got $65 of Mark Webber's money.
Look, the Cobra Commander does nothing for me, right? But
we know what you're buying this set for.
I'm buying it for Toll Booth Destro, baby. Like that figure's fantastic.
Yeah, it kind of is.
I never thought I would be less interested in a Nurse Baroness figure. Just it ain't doing it for me. I'm sorry. But I would love to get Arthur's feedback on City Worker Destro. Because they'll either love it or hate it.
I imagine that if he remembers the context for it, he probably love it.
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not sure.
That would be my guess. If you reminded him when this showed up in the show, I think he'd probably enjoy it.
Well, nobody tell him. Just next time he's at a show, just somebody bring it up to him and let's get the straight, unvarnished response. Because hopefully it's on tape, and if it's, what the hell is this? We can play it forever.
You just want to see people melt down.
He's just awesome. Especially the fact that the construction helmet isn't bigger than the metal mask it's supposed to be sitting on top of.
Well, I mean, Sunbow did always kind of play that Destro mask like it was a skin tight jobby there. It was like, like he just shaved and spray painted his head or something.
It kind of had lightsaber rules, right? Like, what do we need it to do today? Yeah,
right.
Okay, fine. But yeah, he's the only one with a weapon.
It would make the clang sound when somebody tried to punch him, or if he got shot. Every so often, Destro would take the laser blast off the helmet, and it would just ricochet.
Hardest head in the world,
right?
Yeah, but that's the win of these three, like no doubt.
I would like to point out I got a shipping notice on this today, so that is a very short pre-order window.
Whew.
All right,
pay attention, Mezco.
So yeah, it's $65. It's pretty close to being in line with the other Super 7 reaction offerings. And I suppose if you're a completist, this is it's a nice little set.
It's cool. It's fine. It's harmless. If you don't like it, don't get it.
Right. Just I drives me crazy. You see really, really niche kind of collector items like this, and people just freak out over it.
Yeah.
You don't buy it if you don't want it. It's fine. Nobody's going to think you're any less cool or any more cool if you buy or don't buy or any.
Also, the argument is the usual argument: if they made this instead of this, Super 7's making everything.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Super 7 has no filter. You know, they're just
Josh Dolder asks, how many companies have Joe figure licenses now? And I
All of
believe
them.
that answer is yes. That correct. Thank you for taking my punchline.
everyone but Mattel.
All of them. And you know, they might.
You never know.
They might
That
just,
Baron is making me look tan. That's hard to do.
Well, she's Eastern European, so
right.
I guess technically so am I. So, all right.
she has a complexion of Morticia Adams.
That's not a bad comp, actually. Cobra Commander's a redhead. Who knew?
Next news item.
Doo-doo.
Hey, more Super 7 news. This is from earlier today, so thanks for that, guys. But Ultimates Wave 4 was some images were released, so we finally know who's going to be a part of this now that they've got their other waves slowly making their way out to the general public. But Zartan, Gung Ho, Stalker, and traditional black suit Baroness are filling out the ranks. They will retail for about $55 a piece, and pre-orders on them will start tomorrow at all of the usual spots. Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, etc., etc. Phil, who's your winner here?
For me, it's tough to pick because it's like a toss-up between Baroness and Zartan, but I'm going to give the edge to Zartan just because that's the design. I always kind of picture Zartan in my head, and we've never really gotten that figure before. It's never quite been right. I do wish, though, he had the backpack and the mask.
All right. Rack time,
Look
Rob.
at all the little cartoon throwbacks that the Baroness comes with.
Yeah, Baroness is my winner. If for one reason the Rattler pilot helmet head is fantastic. I love it.
Now you need to scale the Rattler.
Right. It's got how many sets of hands there? It's got the Ode to Cobra perfume bottle. It's got
the conch shell, the seal of Alaska.
Right. I mean, just so many of those wacky Baroness episode. And she tended to have some really strange spotlight episodes. Just those weird one-shot things. Like Stalker's pretty cool. If there's a Stalker moment to be had, they've got the accessory for it, right? From the time bomb that he's blowing up in the opening sequence of that first show, and the jetpack and the laser pistol, and then he's got all his different submachine guns. But my complaint is with Gung Ho. They didn't pack Baby. I mean, how do you not pack Baby?
Nobody puts Baby in the pack.
I'm just saying.
They should have packed, the broken one.
Right. They could have given him the normal laser rifle from the cartoon, and then they could have given him the dented one from the mass device. Oh. But yeah, Michael Gene Fleming has the point to these Ultimates for me too. I think I avoided getting into it because I didn't need another scale. But Gung Ho is my favorite character. I think I'm going to have to get him. He's nice. And provided they roll out one of my absolute favorite characters, I will be indulging on that one too. Yeah. So I absolutely hear you on that one. No question. But yeah, if you're in for one and that's your guy, you got to get him.
Yeah. Like I wasn't going to get in either, but I was going to get a bat because they announced the bats first, and now he can be the leader of my classified bats. But these are really good figs, and the packaging is phenomenal.
Yeah, and now that Wave 1 is in folks' hands, they did not fumble the ball on these. Like, we've heard some bad press on some of the other Ultimates lines. There have been some misses in some of those, but none with the Joes. No, really, the Joe ones have gone over well.
I think it's super interesting that they did a more accurate, not dead on accurate, but more accurate tattoo on Gung Ho's chest. Like, it's not bad for an UGA. So,
who's your winner out of this bunch, Mark?
Zartan. I think Zartan's fantastic. Some's just a little bit off on the Baroness. I love all the Chotch is fantastic, but I don't know. It's a second Baroness that I've complained about. Maybe I've just got really high standards for for the femme fatale. I don't know. But they're all good. It's a really good wave. Although I would like a little camo on the bottom of Stalker's right leg. It looks like they ran out of paint, kind of.
Yeah,
That's the animation model they're going off of. It kind of is like that.
but there's not a lot of like there's. I'll bet you even the animation model has a little bit more camo going on than that Stalker does, but that's okay.
Hold on. I can bring one up.
He looks like C-3PO, kind of, right? With the one weird leg.
Right. Like these are mock-ups, so it's okay. I'm sure the actual product will wind up being at least a little different in that regard. But yeah, that figure 6-pack notes the little toy Wolverine that Gung Ho comes with. When he that's a fun little include there.
Yeah, and down the road 20 years, that'll be $100 on eBay.
Just imagine trying to get the tow hook for the tow cable for that one.
Right. I was going to re-release the tow cable.
I dig
Ran out of
Zartan.
time.
My one complaint of Zartan is there isn't enough of there's nothing about him that says I'm a master of disguise.
Hmm.
You know, there's no dumb mask, there's no makeup kit, there's no, none of it, right? So I don't know. I don't know what you take away from that to make it that your includable accessory, but whatever. Anyhow, so those are pre-order tomorrow, and they'll get sent to you. I don't know, 2 years from now.
Seems legit.
So that would be on pattern with the Wave 1. So, anyways, next news item.
Doo-doo.
Oh, that's the last news item. That's just a reminder that the G.I. Joe 3D Printing Podcast proudly presents Chunky Tank Kitty and his Mailer Tank, and we'll have some news from that little niche area of G.I. Joe that we've helped create. Hopefully in the coming weeks, they'll keep us posted. But for a little tape before we get to tonight's main event, let's go ahead and hear from a brief word from our friends at Kokomo Toys.
We buy, sell, and trade vintage and modern toys. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, Transformers, Marvel, DC, and more. Located in beautiful downtown Kokomo, Indiana, we are open every Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 5. It's a theme park of nostalgia. Join the thousands of people who have traveled from all over the Midwest for over a decade to buy and sell with us. Get your geek on.
Woohoo!
As always, you can find them at 1060 West Addison Street.
Stop sending people to Wrigley Field.
No, sorry.
I finally get to close a window, so I'm excited.
You
That
know,
mission
Now
from
my
God.
laptop will run right.
or not.
Sorry, I got distracted by a question in the live chat. So my apologies. But anyways, we got a lot to cover and not much time to do it. So let's get right into the definitive G.I. Joe character tier list for 1989. Feel you gonna hum us a theme song?
Make sure it's public domain.
The answer is no. All right.
There we go.
Not many of years past, but animation starts to become part of the equation again, as Operation Dragonfire does include some of the characters that we will see tonight, and it did help out in some regards. So let's get right to it. First up is the Arrow Viper, and I'm just going to go ahead and just drop him right on the private line.
Man.
Yeah.
Any argument?
No.
I think what would have worked better is if they had shown him without that helmet, because that means that it would have been the Steven Seagal Viper,
Right.
which would have been awesome.
Or the
Secondary
Dread.
military specialty, eating fudge.
Look at that guy.
I'm pretty sure
no,
there is a ponytail coming out the back there. Pretty sure.
Sure, why not? Can't hurt.
I'd accept an argument for this sort of Viper.
Oh, look at that, the Zorro Viper.
Zorro Viper. Okay.
Yeah, the helmet is such a miss here because I love that he came with a helmet because so few Cobras did.
Right.
But to have it just be literally monochrome, like,
Yeah, they gave him a really interesting head, and then covered it up with this just gold blob.
yeah,
So,
just a little bit of deco.
And then gave
on
him the
that.
weird looking plane.
I like that plane,
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Vapor, or what's it
the
called?
Condor.
The Condor.
Condor.
Right?
That's the Condor. That's the bomber.
Two
Which,
planes in one.
yeah,
I
it looks
liked it.
it looks good if you keep it together, but if you split it apart, you're like, why? None of those
Yeah.
pieces look airworthy. They should crash.
That's not a good look. Keep it together, you'll be all right.
So up next is the Alley Viper. And Alley Viper, I mean, he's a troop builder. He's great. People love him. I think looking cool got him onto the corporal line. But
Yeah.
there's never been an Alley Viper that did anything past
No.
be an infantry guy. So very cool. Don't get me wrong. We love Alley Vipers. But in terms of the overall impact to the brand,
Yeah,
I think corporal is where they top out.
that's a low ceiling.
Yeah.
If you're
Most
not
of the Cobra most of the Cobra troop builders have wound up, like the A-list Cobra troop builders have wound up on the corporal line.
yeah,
I think the Crimson Guard was the only one that escaped that, and it's because we had some very specific examples of important characters that were CGs. But past that, I think Corporal's about the best they did, and Alley Viper's right in line with your Bats and your Vipers and your blue shirts and so on and so forth. Arguments?
nope.
Nope.
No,
Okay,
no.
good. Next up is the Annihilator, and I'm just going to go ahead and put him on the private line.
Yeah.
I kind of like those guys. I like the little helicopter pack. That's very Destro.
It's
But,
such a missed opportunity, right?
Yeah, it really is.
This guy in Grenadier colors
Would
would have
fit.
been
Yeah.
choice.
And the club
Ah.
did that later.
Yeah, but
But this 89 take is he's
Mm.
tough. He's a private either way, because again, zero impact. But
Yeah.
that purple and orange getup. I tell you, the 88 Iron Grenadiers, the ferret looks good, and of course the Iron Grenadier soldier looks good, and that color palette had a lot to do with it. And then they never went back to it again.
right.
Drives me crazy. Next up is Backblast. Who again, we like Backblast. He got a couple moments in the comic book, I guess. But we'll start taking arguments here. Phil, what do you think?
I don't know if I'd rate him higher than a corporal, and that's mostly on the strength of the accessories he comes with, because there's a lot of interactivity with the figure, but like impact and animation or comics it's not very high.
Yeah, I'd say negligible. And it's not like there's this crowd of folks out there that just scream for Backblast. Like he's not some super popular for unexplained reasons type of character either. I don't have him on the corporal line. I have him as a private too. Mark?
I mean, I would love to give him more pub because I always had a soft spot for the actual military looking guys and gals, but he
Right.
didn't
Again,
have it.
this is not a statement on how good or bad he looks.
Yeah, he just
Right.
he never
Short fuse.
Yeah,
he
it's
didn't have any impact.
Yeah,
He's
good looking
private.
toy. Neat idea, cool stuff, great gear.
Yep.
Absolutely a non-factor.
Yep, he's
So-
private.
That's all I need there. And then up next is this dude in the green helmet. Is that Countdown? I forget. Help me out. Here.
That's countdown, but that's the wrong countdown.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
What are you doing?
I'm
Talk about
looking-
twisting the knife.
So I think
Damn, that was cold.
that argument makes itself, doesn't it? I mean, somebody talked me out of the private line for Countdown, right?
Yeah,
Next
no.
up is
He's not even the
best.
astronaut people know.
Yeah, he's not even the best countdown.
maybe that's why I didn't recognize him off of the bat. This is the first year, by the way, where I start to have to check lists for names. Like I got most of these guys, but there's a couple of them that I don't remember. That's what getting old and aging out of toys will do for you. You have windows. So next up is Darklon.
I really like Darklon.
Phil, sounds like you got something to say.
I really like Darklon. He didn't do a whole lot except, get blown up in the comics. That was a pretty memorable scene when
He
he
didn't get
gets
blown
blown
up. He got locked in the freighter.
What's going on there?
Yeah. He had one issue where he got spotlighted in special missions or something, and then
It was like I think like issue 88, the same one they introduced Python Patrol.
Right, or the one issue where they actually had Python Patrol. I wouldn't say introduced because that implies that they showed up again. So, Darklon had that issue, and then the one where he got locked in the freighter. So
he did show up again.
Freighter. He was in Volkakakland in the '94 when Cobra Commander and Destro got brainwashed Destro again. Destro just kind of hits a button, and then a big rocket comes down on his castle.
Yeah,
and he's just looking out his telescope. What's coming in on that? And,
oh yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So that means he escaped the freighter, then, didn't he?
Yeah, and maybe escape that too, right? Show me the body. If he's dead, show me the body.
He showed up in the IDW Real American Hero series, so he apparently didn't die from that.
He didn't die from that either. Yeah.
Well, I'd give him a corporal line. He didn't do anything past be tough to kill. But
yeah, he's a tough son of a bitch.
he's Rasputin. Nobody likes him, and he won't die.
Survived his own bad fashion choices, so I'll give him that.
Hey, from the waist up, he's great.
Yeah, that's it, right? And not for nothing, but, and maybe this doesn't matter, one of the best accessories ever, right? His gun is badass, and nobody, so much so that nobody else got it. It's like one of the Excalibur weapons.
It's so badass, I still don't know which way is up.
Right, that's badass is
no, I love it.
Eye of the beholder.
I love it.
Crazy.
I like those solo guns that they never went back to, like Interrogator's claw thing, right? Or oh shoot, who drove the Hammerhead? I don't even know if I got that name right. The big Cobra amphibious thing, Decimator, had that weird triple spear gun thing that was phenomenal. I'm all for lunatic weapons they didn't go back to. So I am Darklon for life, baby.
All right, so I'm going to slide him onto the corporal line, if that's
based
okay.
on the gun. Based on the gun.
I mean, no, but
based
on the fact that he kept turning up, we'll give him corporal.
He can't kill him.
Yeah, right. He's just impossible to kill. Next up, we got DJ.
Ooh.
And like his Battle Force 2000 brethren, the best thing he did was die.
Right, he showed up in the issue.
That might be the only thing he did.
It is.
Yeah, he showed up in the issue he died in, and there has not been any great inclusion of DJ in any further incarnations of GI Joe. So I think we're just going to go ahead and pop him on there.
He got less screen time than original characters they created to kill.
His legacy for me is
Breeze.
One of the worst peg warmers of all time. He was on pegs forever. He might still be on pegs. So bad.
He's pretty.
And he had a weapon, a unique weapon that they didn't go back to, but his sucked.
No, they did issue that like on some of the accessory trees.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Was it bright red?
Yeah.
Bright red, bright yellow. Yeah.
God.
All sorts of nonsense.
Yeah,
He's terrible.
DJ's was red. If you check the thumbnail, you'll see it was red.
He's the worst member of one of the most hated subgroups of all time.
But he comes with a little antenna.
Which you can get on eBay for $50. Or you can get down at Walmart, marked down to 79 cents, and nobody will buy it still.
So up next in the orange bucket, which is kind of a theme for 1989 bucket helmets, is Deep Six. And by default, that's an improvement over the 1984 Deep Six figure.
Yeah.
Because, hey, knees.
Elbows.
Hips. Real basic type articulation. I like the 89 Deep Six as a figure. And but he's one of those guys that the 1984 version's a lot more iconic. So
he kind of peaked in '84.
Right, like it was Deep Six was such a yawn in 1984 that he got good run on the Sunbow cartoon, but outside of that, like the world was not clamoring for another Deep Six, but here he was again, and he'd come back again a third time. But so I'm not sure where to have this Deep Six.
Where do we put the last Deep Six?
I think we had him. He was corporal or sergeant. He was in that range, just because again he had decent run on Sunbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and had a decent little run in the comics when the toy was on the shelf.
Yeah.
He's a corporal. You can't make him a private. The name is too good, But I hated.
We had the original Deep Six a private. This is a better figure.
I hated the helmet though. So lazy.
Yeah.
Right. Do something with the faceplate. Something. Even if they had just painted it black, right?
Right, or blue to make it look like it's reflective, right? Just something.
Just do something. It's so lazy.
But I'll put him on the corporal line.
Yeah, that's fine.
Up next is Dogfight.
Bad McQuack.
One of my absolute favorites from the 1989 line. The pilot of the Mud Fighter. Another guy, he doesn't have a whole lot going on. Larry seems to like using him recently.
He had like a special missions issue or two.
Yeah, he popped up here and there. I have the feeling that he was modeled after somebody that Larry Hama knew. That's what my intuition says. Because he seemed to get more run than most of these other jabronis that showed up for one issue and never again.
He's kind of not quite as Wild Bill though, right?
Right. He's poor man's Wild Bill.
Yeah.
Wild Bill. Like Wild Bill is a major, so poor man's Wild Bill still has some room for interpretation.
I mean, I wouldn't put him with DJ. Nobody wants a room with DJ, but is he really corporal?
Although I imagine as a roommate, DJ's pretty quiet now.
Oh, I found DJ a roommate. Just give me a minute.
His roommates
DJ's got a lot of roommates.
Yeah, it's everybody on Battle Force 2000. They're all sharing the same room, except for,
right?
Except for Dodger.
That's
nice little cozy one. It's a little underground.
Yeah.
Situation.
Well heated.
Well heated. Wow.
A lot of nice handcrafted wood around.
There you go.
So Dogfight is not quite a corporal, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm trying to help a redhead out and keep him away from DJ. But
you failed.
Believe you me, I'm not going to die on the dogfight hill. So
right, he looks cool. He looks cool, but he's ultimately got Ace's problem. We know him as a guy who flies planes, and that's it. And we knew that anyway. So okay. Up next is Downtown.
Oh God,
the character I don't remember ever being in the comic.
To quote
and
Butthead,
I know for a fact was in like 3 seconds of the Deep cartoon.
To quote Butthead, oh no.
Oh no.
Why is he wearing a sparring helmet?
I don't know. I
don't know.
He's a hypochondriac.
He should have come with Big Bo in the 2-pack.
Yeah, like he's a guy who I believe when they were designing Downtown, he was originally supposed to be Short Fuse. And they even used they even used that mold for a later Short Fuse when they did the Night Force version in the 2000s. It's no good. It's funny that he is Short Fuse's replacement because he's the ultimate non-factor, much like Short Fuse.
Right.
So, anyways,
There are
up
a
next,
bunch of weird replacement guys at this time.
right? This is another one. Like 88 and 89 are the 2 years where there's a couple of dudes who stand out, and there's a big pile of privates, which sounds terrible. Now that I've said it out loud,
Yeah, you said that out
You didn't
loud.
think that one through, did you?
even worse.
Big
Run it-
pile of privates.
Running out of room on that private line.
I thought it out, Phil. It just didn't matter. Sometimes you
It's
just
Lorena Bobbitt's patio.
Too soon. Too soon.
Oh, again, we used to live within walking distance of Joey Buttafuoco's garage.
Mm.
There's pictures. There's pictures of us at Joey Buttafuoco's garage.
I bet Lorena didn't date a whole lot after that.
I'm gonna guess
I can't
not.
imagine.
Gonna guess not. I know I'm mixing my late 80s, early 90s scandalous liaison news bits, but I had to throw it in there.
Could you imagine if that happened now? They just close the internet. They just close it down. They just go,
Right.
we're down this week.
You know what? Maintenance.
Right.
Can't handle the traffic. Frag Viper's next, and the Frag Viper is Cobra
private.
Trooper and a crummy
That
one
thing's
at that.
Private.
Brought to you by Werther's Caramels. Yep.
Right.
That thing's terrible.
Like it's a great idea executed tremendously badly.
Yeah.
It's that time of culture where they try to push high-ally on all of us.
All right, so now non-private alert, Naugahyde. It's an inauspicious claim to fame, but hey, it's a guy who got a lot of run on the Deke cartoon.
I think that alone might push him up to sergeant compared to everybody else.
I
Great
mean,
hat.
compared to this line, yes, he's. But truthfully, just the amount of camera time might be sergeant right there. Somebody had to be on Cobra.
He had a lot of appearances in the first season of Deke too, outside of the Operation Dragonfire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got a lot of camera time in Deke because there just weren't any other named Cobras around. It was him and Metalhead and Cobra Commander, and that was about it.
They had to bring in Zorana.
Yeah, I mean, the occasional Destro sighting and the occasional Zorana or Baroness sighting, but for the most part, he was one of that big three. And
He's also one of the few named Cobras you get until they start making new Destros and Fireflies.
Right. Right. But Matt Rubin notes 11 figures in, and we haven't gone beyond Corporal until Naugahyde. Yeah, you know, we warned you about this. Everybody out there who just begged and pleaded, oh, you have to do this for every single year. And I was kind of like, well, I don't know how much 88 or so. And everybody's like, no, you gotta do it. And it's like, there's gonna be a lot of privates. They're like, you gotta do it. I'm like, oh, okay. Here we are in 89, folks. And Naugahyde's gonna make fucking sergeant unless somebody can talk me out of it.
I mean,
He's a mercy sergeant.
It's probably prudent just to leave some room on the bottom rows for the truly horrific figures at the time.
We got to wave him on sergeant because we can't see the other.
Right, but we get into the
We
90s.
still got to squeeze the wild boar in there somewhere.
We get into the 90s. We might need a sub-private category. We need a buck private category.
I like
But,
that
Potato peeler.
I like that Rob just coined the term, we got to squeeze the wild boar, because it sounds like a euphemism, but it isn't.
It's not. It's absolutely legit, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so our first sergeant of the day is Naugahyde.
Sergeant Naugahyde, thank you very much.
Sergeant Naugahyde. Oh, my
Master
goodness.
Sergeant Naugahyde, perhaps.
Perhaps, but again, he was a main villain on a cartoon series for a full season, and that's something. Granted, it's a terrible
cartoon
series, but at least it's not season 2 of Deke.
Season 1 is miles ahead of season 2.
Right, season 1. There's at least some episodes that are watchable.
That's stepping over the low bar, sitting on the ground.
Right, that is clearing the Tim Roberts pit there. That is,
Easy.
we're gonna get him to find you, Weber.
Oh, keep throwing rocks at that beehive. See what happens. Good Lord.
He ain't coming for me, Weber.
He'll come. He'll go through you to get to me, though. So
He's not. He's
Go
All I
through
have-
us. We're giving you up easy.
Look, I got no idea, right? Last time I knew, he moved out of Oregon somewhere. I don't even remember where he moved to. No offense, Tim.
Delaware.
But
I mean, if
he
you
was
find-
he was west last time I saw him, and you're Midwest, so he's probably closer to you than me, right? I live on an island.
if he finds
I live on an island.
if he finds us, I'm gonna give him money and ask for the film rights. That's what whatever. Hey, I'm not gonna make him upset.
Cost him $1.50 and a pack of smokes.
I
Up
think
next,
that's the trick. He's
We're giving him
always
gas
upset.
money to Rhode Island.
up next is the Heat Viper, who I'm just gonna go ahead and slide onto the private line.
Oh, the
There you
Heat
go.
Viper sucks.
You ever wonder how many heat vipers they lose to people stubbing their toe against a table? Or,
Right. Again, it's another good idea executed poorly. I purple and orange, man. What? Explain this to me, somebody.
Did he come with like 8 billion rifles? I don't remember.
No, he came with
No,
a
he
bunch
came with the
of
big
missiles.
bazooka.
Oh, the gigantic. That's right.
Yeah.
The useless gigantic weapon.
All right, and up next is this guy in the weird helmet who I can't remember.
Hot seat.
It's not
Hot.
Yahtzee.
Hot
That's-
seat.
Hot
hot
seat.
seat.
That's not it either. That's Major Storm.
So I'm just gonna
Oh,
go
it's
ahead
supposed
and
to be hot seat, the Raider driver. Either way, private.
Private.
He sucks
it?
worse than the vehicle he drives.
Wait a minute. Maybe that is hot seat. Hang on.
That's hot seat.
that's
Oh,
hot seat.
sorry.
You got the green chest.
All right, fair enough.
Major
He
Storm's
sucks.
helmet. Major Storm's helmet took up the whole avatar.
Oh, and it was gold, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
Major
So
Storm's
this guy is Major Storm cosplay.
Major Storm was not a bad figure with that terrible helmet.
Yeah. Isn't Hot Seat the first one who was full on gray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like old man. Yeah. Yeah, he sucked.
And so did his vehicle.
That's right. He sucked too.
The Raider.
We're so positive. We're so positive tonight.
And
Okay,
the Raiders suck. So
I
Yeah.
Okay, now you're really gonna get lynched.
I made sure to get the headshot of this guy without his helmet on, so we could get the full ginger glory
yes.
of
Love
that,
it.
Who is this?
that action going on. And this is oh hell. Oh
I
my
got
God.
it. Ooh.
Long range.
That's it.
Jeff Butler. Hot seat was cool.
No.
No.
What?
No, he wasn't. That is incorrect.
Look, I'm not even
I mean,
gonna
compared to Armadillo, yeah.
I'm not gonna disagree with Jeff Butler because I don't remember Hot Seat enough to know if he was cool or not.
No.
And that
Yeah, and it's old man hot seat.
that
Right.
in and of itself is its own damning with faint praise.
Does Hot Seat hang out with Skid Mark?
Right? They should have given him the last name Houlihan. That would have been awesome.
Hot
Hot Seat Houlihan.
No, because people remember Skid Mark.
Skid Mark had a better vehicle.
Right. So we got long range, and long
Redhead.
range
That's long range.
Redhead.
has some majestic flow going on.
I will say this: unlike a lot of the Joes of this year, Long Range actually made it at the cover of a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
That he did. He is actually in the current last issue of G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
He is on that plane as it dives towards the hotel.
Larry liked playing with him in the IDW run.
He did. He would show up a lot. So
That gets him into a corporal, I think.
And he was in Sigma 6, right? Just completely different.
Yeah, but at least they used the code name. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
name only, yes.
And he had thigh-high metal boots.
am I doing that just to be a pal at this point? I think I'm
No,
I
just
think
because we need the
Corporal.
room. We need the room.
you'll just give us another row. It's okay, Mark. You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, okay. All right, good. Because there's a lot of crap coming.
Up next is Night Force. And again, we could have done each one individually, but that would have been a real waste of time. These subgroups are fun, but there's no impact for most of it. I am going to go ahead and slide Night Force right on the private line. All these other guys.
I'm sorry.
Although I do give them credit for being the one sub team that makes some kind of sense.
And makes some borderline bad figures tolerable, right?
Yeah.
Night Force Psych Out, so much better than Psych Out. Night Force Crazy Legs, so much better than Crazy Legs.
Yeah, like I said, like Night Force, you find a use for. Oh, Night Patrol, yeah, cool. And then Python Patrol, although horrible execution, you like the idea. Stealth troopers, but
Right. There's a point to it. I'm not criticizing it. I'm not saying this list is not about what looks cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not about how good the figure is. It's about the impact of the characters and the fact that nobody ever made an appearance as Night Force anything in any media says that Night Force is just a gimmick to sell more toys.
Yeah.
So
Tragedy.
Night Force is a private. Yeah. So Night Force, and then we got Night Viper. And Night Viper is I mean,
He's
they're
a corporal for being a cool troop builder.
right. It's
Also, he's made
go ahead, Phil.
quite a few appearances in the comic and did show up in Dragonfire, even if they showed up in the middle of the day.
Right.
I think there's an argument to be made for Corporal.
Yeah, I think just the fact that they look neat. It's kind of like the Alley Viper. They didn't really
Right
do
after you said this is not about what looks cool.
but at the same time, like there's a clamoring for Night Vipers. Like the fact that enough folks like it for that reason, and the fact that folks to this day are asking for a classified Night Viper, and like there's.
I'm sure that's coming, but
sometimes looking cool is enough, but it takes a lot.
It works for me.
Dogfight looks cool, but he's not past a private, right? Anyways, you get what I'm saying. Like, there has to be like sometimes looking cool is what the groundswell of support gets. Is yeah. Anyways, it's the basis of that groundswell of support. I think that's what it is for the Night Viper and the Alley Viper.
I like the Deke episode where the Night Viper and Low Light had that high noon shootout in the middle of the day. It was great. They should have more like that.
Right.
Deke didn't have a lot of
they didn't think
differentiation in the troops.
No, they really did love to take nameless troops and treat them as individual characters. And somebody would just shout out, "Hey, Night Viper," and like the one Night Viper would know that they were talking to him.
That's me.
Anyways, next up is Payload. That like this is the good astronaut figure. But he's Payload.
Private.
And so I'm just going to go ahead and drop him on here. See, Mark, the whole second line opens up, remember?
Redhead. Just saying.
Next up is Python Patrol.
Nah.
And you
He
know
actually
what?
did get comic book appearances.
Python Patrol did make it into the comic and was one of the driving factors of Operation Dragonfire. So, while it is perhaps the dopiest of the gimmicks,
No.
it had the most point.
I'm not arguing with that. I'm just arguing that Tiger Force is the dopiest gimmick.
yeah.
Okay.
Forever. For
All right.
life, as I say.
All right. Fair enough.
But I'll give you Python Patrol. I'm not fighting you on that.
Corporal.
Yeah, drop it in there. Just to make Night Force jealous.
Python Patrol vehicles look fantastic. Python Patrol figures.
Yeah, that's pretty fair.
Copperhead's taking that personally.
I'll say some of those figures are okay.
The Viper's
Viper.
good.
Yeah.
The Viper's good. Copperhead's good. The trooper.
Copperhead's good except for his waist. His waist is blinding.
The trooper / officer looks good. The one that's primarily in the black uniform. He looks okay. The Televiper's all right. He's not, that yellow shirt kind of goes a long way, but anyways, it could have been done worse. That's Crimson Guard. Erased a lot of the good parts though. Next up is Recoil.
Oh boy.
And now we've got a guy who we saw him a little bit in Deke, didn't we, Phil?
I'm not sure about Deke. I know he showed up a little bit in the comic, but again, it's not much impact.
Yeah, a lot of guys showed up once or twice in the comics.
With his Carolina blue weapons.
Oh, the weapon's so bad, and the Devo hat. Why is he wearing a Devo hat?
I like the Devo hat.
Because he
Ugh.
is not men, he is Devo.
I guess.
That's why he has the digital camo.
I thought he was fantastic, other than the hat and the guns. You can replace the guns. But again, it's not about how cool he looks. So he's a private, isn't he?
I would
don't
think.
so.
Private.
He's from, and his file card said he was from Fashion Island, Washington. There is no
Wow.
Fashion Island, Washington. It's Vashon with a V. So just saying.
And now, as if sent from the heavens above to break up this horrible string
Thank
of
God.
privates, it's rock and roll.
Is there anything above General?
I mean, in comparison, Field Marshal, but
That would be Commander in Chief above General.
yeah,
Right?
First
in
Or
time,
Defense
European armies,
Secretary.
we can go Field Marshal.
first time around, we gave rock and roll what, major?
Yeah,
Is he a sergeant or a major? I don't remember.
I think he might have been a sergeant. I think I argued major, but
I'm pretty sure I
He's a
did too.
He's a
this
big
figure,
deal.
I mean, this figure could bump up to a major, except for those dopey Gatling guns.
Who cares about that? But
Yeah,
the fact that rock and roll just kept showing up through the length of GI Joe and printed media puts him in the major category for me. He's
Yeah.
one of the guys that Hama has decided is going to be, even if he's not one of the main players at the core story, he's part of the core story.
yeah.
Supporting
And this is a truly outstanding figure.
Yeah.
So I'm good with him being on the major line.
Sure.
It's amazing
Yeah.
how our standards slip as things go on. But yeah, he's a major. He's not a general. He's not important enough for that. We've had enough incarnations of rock and roll, or enough incarnations of GI Joe come and go without rock and roll, and nobody really noticed, to say that he's not just indispensable. He's not one of those key characters to the line, but he's been a major part of major media. So I think it makes him a major.
I
I like your reasoning.
Yep.
But all right, I'll get my windows straightened out here. There we go. Next up is Scoop.
Oh no.
Sergeant, I would probably put him out.
Yeah,
Sergeant Scoop, report for duty.
again, Scoop was a
He
part
might
of
be though.
Operation Dragonfire, and that was about it. Like past that, what did Scoop do?
There was a good issue of Special Missions.
Yeah.
Didn't they write him in one of the more recent bits where he like fell under the sway of Serpentor's cult? It was dark
and
as
Cobra.
hell. Yeah. Yeesh.
He didn't look like this Scoop, but yeah.
So I would say that Scoop is he's kind of like he's Lightfoot's his older brother, but he's the slightly cooler younger brother, and so that makes him a corporal.
All right.
Because Lightfoot sucks and Scoop's better than him,
That's
but they look kind of.
Lightfoot looks like he's cosplaying someone else, right? Like, just
What's going on with you, man? Anyways, he was
right.
last.
Like he's trying to cosplay Batman and Robin at the same time.
What a dork, Lightfoot.
Next, we got the Slaughters Marauders subset. I'm just going to go ahead and slide that up here on a private line.
Yeah, they suck.
Great vehicles. I love those vehicles.
Vehicles, yes, absolutely, 100%.
Oh yeah.
They're
But
just
but like Python Patrol, you look at the figures and
they're dumb kit bashes, but
Yeah.
That was the Sergeant Slaughter I had growing up, so I kind of liked it.
sometimes dumb kit bashes are what it takes.
The Lynx and the what was it? It wasn't a paralyzer, was it? That was a Cobra thing. I don't remember.
The big one.
Equalizer was the big one.
Equalizer.
Equalizer, that's it.
That vehicle kicks butt.
Yeah, I was a big fan of both of those.
And like
The
another
Lynx,
armadillo.
The Lynx. I mean, you look at it. The Mauler turret on the Wolverine. It looks like if it fired the cannon, it would go backwards,
Right.
500 yards.
It's an escape vehicle. People use it wrong.
It's a vehicle just made to cover the retreat.
That's it. Hey, Tim Peterson's got a really good point over there about the Marauders vehicles.
Remember, I can't see the window, so you gotta help me out.
Okay. Tim Peterson says the Marauders vehicles were great because they left off the blue.
Yeah.
And yeah, they stand the test of time because they, in a toy box, they just look like one of the tanks. So
Right. Michael Gene Fleming says Marauders Footloose was my first Joe. Sorry.
wow.
This is coming from somebody who really likes Footloose.
And
The
his
original
diaper,
Footloose is a good figure.
except for the diaper.
Again, Mark, you just had you have no appreciation of the fine detail that went into his crotch.
Well, you are the crotch aficionado.
I am
of
the
What's
crotch.
on Joe on the What's on Joe Mind crew.
I'm the crotch master.
I think you've looked at 68 beachheads for so long that
60,
Footloose gets you all hot and bothered.
If we get to that point, I will play the bumper tag for that. But we gotta
Oh,
get
yeah.
that done.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Snake Eyes
General.
in one of his more iconic outfits. So yeah, we'll
This
just
is a good figure too.
top of the
But
line.
bizarrely never appeared in Deke.
That's all right though.
Yeah, it just means it's unsullied.
He doesn't need that.
Right.
He don't need that stink hanging on him. We got Stalker.
Major.
And, Stalker. He'll. This guy's right there with the original. In
Yeah.
that Stalker even got put in this outfit in the comic book, even though he was running around in the desert. They dressed him in his tundra outfit because they
Also
didn't
New York City.
Yes, also New York City.
But so I mean, maybe the tundra uniform gives him extra protection against rats and urine scent, but who knows? Who knows?
And Mets
It's not
fans.
mud on his boots.
I wish they'd have done more of this, right? Like a real desert Snake Eyes or an Arctic Scarlet or something. I think
Right.
this is a great idea and really well done. So
I think
Right.
Larry wanted that too when they first started introducing more characters in '85.
Yeah.
Yes, I think there's memos in that regard. Next, we've got the Target.
The
nope,
Trifax.
I'm sorry. Your pre-order from Target has been canceled.
I mean, I have to admit that I love the Target because he's just not good.
Like,
He doesn't know which grenade is
Like
organs.
the whole point of this guy is to fly a jetpack as high as he possibly can
and then drop.
crash to the ground.
He's the Cobra jetpack without the jetpack.
Oh my God! Just I mean, that's amazing. He was one of Destro's guys.
Yep.
I love him, but he's a private.
You can tell he's a Destro guy because of the bright blue.
It's a signature look.
And then we got the Track Viper who drove the Hiss 2. And I'm just going to go
Right.
ahead and put him on in there next to him.
Cool gun.
Come on. Yeah, cool. Hey,
Like-
cool.
like-
Hiss 2 is a cool tank.
Yep. A lot going for him. They didn't use him much though.
No. There's no
You know,
point to it.
he's okay with it because I would have got him further away from DJ.
And what's this guy's name here?
Wild
Wild
Boar.
boar. We're gonna squeeze
Wild
him.
Boar. He drove the Razorback. He had that cool I got a pipe going into my helmet thing.
What was that supposed to be?
I think it was
hell no.
supposed to be like a cybernetic connection, but the helmet doesn't fit quite over his head like it should.
No, and it scrapes his nose and his goggles like crazy, right? It's hard to
Yeah.
find figure one of those in good shape.
Yeah.
The
it's,
gold flakes off when you look at it wrong. So
as does with them all.
Yeah.
And then we got Lynchill.
Great fig.
private.
Just say
But
that 'cause
private. He's not a ginger, he's blonde.
And he's got his Arctic dragster.
He's a
you
dirty
can tell
blonde.
he's blonde because he's got the same blonde color for his hair, his
And his
eyebrows,
eyes.
his mustache, and his eyeballs. He's got topside syndrome. I hate
He's got
that
jaundice.
so bad.
He's a strawberry blonde.
He's got yellow eyes. Like
God help me, yellow eyes.
He's a
Title-
Sith Lord.
Title of
Scott
tier list.
Farkas.
Title of tier list. Crappy. It's definitive though.
I'm going to go ahead and get this saved in there.
Thank God for Snake Eyes saving the day.
Yeah.
Good. Look, last
As
Nice.
usual, Snake Eyes, rock and roll, and stalker.
1988 had no generals, so this right there, that yeah. Ooh. Go ahead, we'll save that. That is definitive. We got it done.
Definitive.
Shakalaka.
Aren't you glad you were here for this, Phil?
Yes, I was indispensable to the creation of this list. It's I shaped
Right.
all of your minds.
Right. Phil was responsible for most of the photographs on those.
And the ones I'm not responsible for, I just didn't get pictures of.
There you go. This list was like dinner at Denny's. The food is bad, but you get a lot of it.
Matt, and if you're at Denny's, just get the pancakes. They can't screw up pancakes.
Yeah.
Matt Rubin asks,
You'd
is
think.
17 privates the record? Maybe. I mean, can I task you with finding that out for us, Matt Rubin?
We'll
The
beat
only
that
one who
record.
knows is Madeline Kahn.
Yeah, we'll beat that record. I
If
promise
we do
you.
1990, yeah.
So,
1993, you mean?
Well, I think we'll beat it 90 and then eclipse it with 93.
I really,
We'd have to be digging through the commercials for any sort of cultural relevancy.
I really don't think we're getting to 93. I don't.
I don't think we're getting a 90.
Hey, quick question: Is there anything lower than private for Teginzu?
Recruit.
Something like that.
E1. Boot camp dropout.
Bart notes that Denny's once screwed up getting him a bowl of soup.
Huh.
I mean, was there a thumb in it? What was up with the soup?
They got him
A
a Zuppa
Band-Aid.
Toscana from Olive Garden.
Andrew Gaugan, I miss Denny's. Nearest one is an hour away. If I wanted effing pancakes, I'd go to IHOP. Well, okay, fine then.
There's better places for pancakes too.
Get the Superbird. Go, knock yourself out. Get moons over my hammy. You go ahead. You
That
go
sounds
right
dirty.
ahead.
That sounds dirty too, but it isn't.
It isn't. It is not. It
I tell you, the last time I had moons over my hammy, I was squeezing the wild boar for an hour.
So
Feel unclean.
and Hans Chow notes an important point. When all's said and done, I didn't mind getting any of these figures when I was younger. And true.
Except for DJ.
Speaking as somebody who was around from the very beginning, these guys were starting to get kind of a minor league feel. But these are still good figures. They just weren't. You kind of got the impression that they were filling out the ranks a little bit. Like it just, there wasn't a whole lot of new territory to cover. And so if you're not the first guy that does a certain job, you're not necessarily the most memorable guy. So there we go. Matt Rubin answering his own question. 1988's list had 18 privates. There were also more figures that year, so maybe we need to figure this out by percentage.
Per capita.
Jeff Butler notes, there was a fingernail in my soup. Yesterday there was a Band-Aid. Sorry, sir. The Band-Aid was keeping the fingernail on. But
I'm laughing because when you popped up the yojo.com page and I said it was the coldest thing I'd ever seen, it's not as cold as Bart's line over there where he says, I have all DJs.
I've hauled DJ's parts as a kid because he never got played with.
I couldn't lose his weapons because I never played with him.
Couldn't lose his weapons because they were day glow and you'd find them anyway.
Oh, Dave Allen says we have to get to cesspool. That sounds
Do
like
we?
Sounds like money needs to change hands. I encourage everyone, if you want to get to 94, we got a coffee link down below. Maybe you got to start paying your way.
That sounds like a dare that we shouldn't accept. That's what it sounds
Right?
like.
Ooh. These are starting, like I think 90 will get a little bit of an upswing. We get a little bit of that dead cat bounce because there was more going on with G.I. Joe and mass media. But it starts to get real bleak real quick after that. Like we might have to do one of these where we just get a year where it's most of them are just immediately in the private pile, and if they're showing up at all, they're at least a corporate.
Yeah,
and we'll be done with it in half an hour, and that'll be that.
Well, this one went kind of fast.
Real quick.
So 1994 is so bad that the Vipers that appeared in the comic book were always colored like eels. They couldn't even figure out what they had.
I'm just going to one more time let everybody
Seagal Viper.
bask in the regality of Seagal Viper.
Zorro.
Oh my God.
Arrow Viper disapproves of your life choices.
But we don't have time to do a full hit of what we got in, but I do need to get this moving. Otherwise, we're going to get a backlog on it. That says 67. That is 3 more than the last time we did this segment. I think I just knocked a whole bunch of crap onto the floor. But anyways, 65.
Their crotches just broke.
Yeah, 65. He's pretty normal looking guy. He's got all of his stuff. He's got all his man pieces. And then
His purse.
His man bits
is the same thing. Just he's got the replacement dark gray gun, which is fine. And then 67, he's been through some wars. And I got him because he was so inexpensive that he actually, like, I've bought all of the gear for a beachhead figure, and usually that costs about $15. That ammo pouch, these guys right here, they're kind of expensive. But this guy, with all of his stuff, with all of the gear, was far less than that. I got him for a song. Sometimes you just have to ask when it says on eBay, make an offer or best offer. Sometimes you just need to make a bad offer.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be the best offer they get. But he not only is he missing his crotch, he's missing most of his right arm.
Whoa!
Lieutenant Dan Beachhead.
Yeah, number 67. He's been through some fights.
Oof.
But he's got all of his stuff. And so I had to get that in because I know we've got some more coming in the mail. So we needed to show those off and get them their moment in the sun, or else we weren't going to get to it. But we are coming down the home stretch. Phil, shout it out.
All right. As always, shouting out to my partner in crime, Patrick Stewart. He helps run the Articulated Points podcast with me over on YouTube right here. Just give it a quick search. You'll find it.
We got the link down below, so you can go right there to the channel. You don't even have to search.
Yeah, even more convenient.
See?
That's what we do for you, Phil. It's the What's on Joe Mind difference. Other shows don't plug you like our show plugs you, which sounds dirty.
It's been the theme kind of tonight.
What else you got, Phil?
For shout outs, that's just shout out for the audience. Thanks you for always being so welcoming to me and not, pulling out the pitchforks and torches.
The
Right?
pitchfork?
Mortgage Jiggerbird Verde.
It's a pitchfork.
I start with a T there. I
Okay.
switched them up there.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. They will be coming out with the pitchforks and torches, but that's what I got.
Dave Allen has a good question, but that's a better question for the mailbag. So send that in an email. We'll get to it in a mailbag. Racktime Rob, shout it out.
Shout out to the studio audience. Thanks for coming along. Shout out to the boy. Happy birthday.
Is that all you got?
That's all I got.
Good. We're done talking to you. Right, Mark, shout it out.
Shout out to Joe Colton. Cooking that baby. Keep it up. Obviously, the whole community is wishing you well. And I'm a birthday guy. Happy birthday today. I know I'm going to get the last name wrong, right? But it's Jesse Wittenreich, I think, who worked for the club and was the AV guy. And as a Hasbro guy for a little while, there was nothing better than having somebody who knew his stuff who would help you get your presentation rolling on time. So he was super helpful.
Jesse
And
saved
also,
many a panel.
absolutely. So kudos to him. And Marauder Rubin's birthday today. So when he's not busy terrorizing Facebook, I hope he's enjoying some birthday cake today.
Right. I would give Jesse credit for saving our old JoeCon panels, but we never prepared enough to have stuff for him to save. So the one time we brought visual aids, it was that creepy ass mask of Justin Bell. So there was I mean, if he had saved that panel, he'd have burned those things because
He just run up and grabs it. No.
I think they're still haunting that hotel.
Probably.
Anyways, yeah, I would like to echo everyone's sentiment on the live audience. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're catching us on replay, hey, thank you. Counts just as much. Please, if you're watching us on YouTube, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Hit that button down there. Leave us a comment down below if you agree or disagree with the stuff we talked about here tonight. You can always go over to Tier Maker. I think that's the name of the site, and do your own tier list. Our avatars are all there for all the years that we've done. You can make your own, share them with us. We're thrilled with that. We are here to build a community. We are not here for the hype. Lord knows if we were here for the hype, it would pay better than this does. I'd probably have more stuff on a bookshelf behind me if that were the case. But anyways, shout out to Joe Colton and to the Wrist Lock. Shout out to you guys, to our guest host Phil, to Rack Time Rob, to the Honcho Mark Weber. Appreciate your guys coming in every week. Shout out to our good friend Brian Lower, HCC 788, who leads off this Tuesday night of whimsy every week and plugs our damn show and then gets out of the way so we can do our thing.
Tuesday nights is Joe's day nights.
Right? I almost kind of works, right?
Yeah, I don't care if it did or not. I was
We're gonna go with it.
Good enough. Look, it's a tier list night, so we're already tired of talking.
Tired and cranky.
1989 was bad to us. We were. Anyways.
And yet it's salvageable because you got Stalker, Snake Eyes, and Rock and Roll.
Right. It's just all right. Hey, if they needed some help, Deep Six is there for them too.
Yeah.
To fight Sergeant Nagahide.
And his army of worthless troopers.
Right. DJ turned traitor and they were happy because now they got to shoot at him.
Again, there were some good figures here, just not particularly impactful ones.
Just not many of them.
Not impactful characters.
No, not many.
Good figures. Characters. But hey, we had some fun. Thanks so much for joining us. That's all we got. Go home. Go to bed. For your hosts, Phil Donnelly, Rob Irizarry, and Mark Weber, I'm Mike Irizarry. Be sure to join us next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. for another episode of What's on Joe Mind. Like our friend Thagon says, stay safe, and if you can't, be careful. We'll see you next week. Yo, Joe.
Beer.